Hello there, friends. The topic today is taking a look at what new thought actually is. So it falls under a category that is mostly misunderstood because the truth is there is no new thought in new thought. And unity, divine science, religious science, and that falls under a category of that when actually, technically, realistically, the traces of this kind of philosophy, this kind of tradition and thinking, goes back to Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and all the way through the decades of this. So there's no new thought in new thought. It is ancient wisdom. And as strange as it may sound, especially for a movement that's called New Thought, as we take a deeper look into this, the clearer it is and becomes that the wisdom we call New Thought is not new at all. It is not only ancient, it is timeless. And it's the same stream of truth that has been flowing through humanity for thousands of years. So let's take a brief walk through the history of that and see how the wisdom that has been leading us, speaking to us, whispering to us, motivating us, and sometimes shaking us up a little bit or shouting to us across the ages may be foundational, even more foundational than what we actually believe. So we can start with the Greeks. And I'm not denying that there was something before the Greeks, but we can go back to the Greeks. So we begin with Socrates. And imagine that standing in the marketplace of Athens, which I was just there, by the way. And Socrates taught not by giving answers, but by asking questions, inquiry, inviting people to discover the truth within themselves. This is one of my favorite things about unity. To question what we believe, to see what is our convictions, what is actual. Socrates believed that wisdom was not something that was handed down from outside of us, but something that was awakened from within us. Sound familiar? The kingdom of God is within us. There's one power and one presence in all the universe. I am that I am. Plato was his student and continued to build on this. Plato taught that in the world of forms, that beyond appearances, beyond the physical, metaphysically, beyond the appearances, lies an eternal reality of truth. Beyond it, an eternal, infinite, eternal truth, wisdom, beauty, goodness. And Plato reminded us that we are more than what we think we are. We are more than what our senses can perceive. And that there is a spiritual dimension, absolutely assured, a spiritual dimension that's unseen and albeit extremely real. To see beyond the physical, to sense beyond the physical. Then comes Aristotle, who grounded the philosophy in practical living. Now, this is my actual favorite part. He spoke of living with virtue, with balance, and with purpose. He spoke of having and living a good life. He also gave us the framework for a life that integrates, that's integral to body, mind, and spirit. Not one or the other, but an integration on all that is of that. So we've had this flow of wisdom through the ages, from the Greeks. The wisdom spread into early Christianity, mysticism even, and certainly Eastern traditions too. And the mystics of every faith, every single faith, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, all point and pointed to the same truth, that the divine is within us, that the divine is within you, the divine is within me, the divine is within us, in us, around us, and being expressed through us. In us, within us, around us, and expressed through us. So then fast forward centuries even, to early 19th and 20th century, and names like Ralph Waldo Emerson. Most of us have read and studied there, the transcendentalist. Phineas Quimby, Emma Curtis Hopkins, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Emilie Cady, Nona Brooks, the founder of divine science, Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, all come alive in the same time, in the earliest 20th century. So these are considered the New Thought pioneers. And we know Charles and Myrtle Fillmore are the founders of unity, the primary foundation we refer to here, and that they did not invent anything new. They did not invent a brand new idea, a brand new philosophy, a brand new way of thinking. They rediscovered what had always been true and then lifted it up, put it out, that our thoughts shape our lives. Prayer has power, prayer heals, and that love is the greatest power in the universe. So we know, as the story goes, that Myrtle healed herself, and that it wasn't by magic or prophecy, but by turning inward, speaking words of life and affirmation, affirmative prayer, speaking words of truth to her own body, and aligning with the power of spirit within her. I am a child of God, therefore I don't inherit illness, as an example. Even in his 90s, Charles Fillmore is quoted as saying, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm." So, a lot of vitality. Something is happening. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, said it like this: there is a power for good in the universe. There is a power for good in the universe greater than we are. There's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. We can use that power. He too was drawing not on something novel, but on an eternal truth that has always been accessible to those with ears to hear. Let those with ears hear. So from ancient to now, a continuum of this, and we've had all sorts of teachers in the last decades say similar things, that we're standing in the same long line of truth tellers, not inventing something, but remembering, rediscovering, not creating something brand new again, but clearing away the clutter, purifying our own minds, changing our own minds, renewing our own minds. Change your life by renewing your mind, renewing our minds, and clearing away the clutter so that we can see again what is actually true and what has always been true. That love is the foundation of reality, that our thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, and disposition, outlook, mindset shape the world we experience and shape the world we live in. That compassion, including self-compassion and forgiveness, free us. That our liberation, our freedom relies on an embodiment of this. and that the divine present is not distant, does not go away, is not hiding from us, instead is the very essence of our being, that we are innately, inherently, infinitely, eternally divine. The divine presence is our very existence. So we can see then that new thought is not new. It is ancient thought, eternal thought, and it is wisdom that is tested and tried and applied and written about and sung about and shows made about throughout the centuries. And that what it points to and the difference it's going to make will not come to us through prophecy, only to the degree that we practice this, that we apply it, that we are not chasing novelty here, that we're anchoring ourselves in a lineage of truth that is vast, ancient, and unshakable. So, in a world obsessed with the next new thing, new thought is not a fad. It's not a trend. It is a return, a remembering, a reawakening. So today and after today, I hope, let us remember with humility and with joy that there is only the eternal truth, ancient wisdom, grounded and founded and uplifted and practiced and applied through our teachings, through our embodiment of it. And it is ours to live, or not, right here and right now. In every relationship, in every interaction, in every exchange, in every email, in every phone call, every letter, every book, every song, every prayer, every spoken word. That we hold an accountability for this. Now, all of this philosophy and inspiring philosophy, so what? What will we do with it? If the truth is not new, and it's been here for thousands of years, and the question is not only what is the truth, the real question is to what degree and how will we live the truth? Will we live it? Especially when it's hard, especially when they're knuckleheads, especially when they've hurt and harmed us. So I'm inviting me again and you, now that you've heard this, to take responsibility for our own spiritual evolution. That we cease waiting for the world to change, or a person to change, or an attitude to change, and not to hope someone else is going to raise the consciousness of humanity. But we begin again right here this day, right here in our own lives. As Mama would say, sweeping under our own feet. So it means holding ourselves accountable, more and more accountable, to live with compassion, including self-compassion, even when judgment feels easier or more patterned. It means practicing forgiveness, even when resentment feels justified. And it means choosing love again and again, especially when fear is loud enough to distract us and drowned it out at times. And it means remembering every single day that the divine presence is not out there. It is within us, expressing as us and moving us through the world. So the healing of the soul of humanity won't arrive by accident or by prophecy. It will come not from a savior or one leader or one movement. It will come when each of us awakens to the truth, reawakens to the truth of who we actually are, and then take action and live in accordance with that in all of our affairs. Sound easy? So, what is yours to do today? What is mine to do today? What step can we take this day, this week, this moment to embody the truth that we are in fact divine expressions of God, of Creator? So it might be a word of kindness where there has been silence. Silence as violence. Instead, a reaching out, a reaching across the aisle, a bridging the gap, a staying connected even when we argue or disagree. It might be a prayer of blessing where there's been complaints, even a litany of complaints, to confer a blessing, to speak a word of prayer. It might be choosing gratitude where there has been fear. Yes, the fear is there, and I still have gratitude. It might be daring to say yes to the next unfolding of your life, trusting that God is in it, that Spirit is leading it. A daring yes. Each choice we make, every choice we make will be part of the healing of the world, of the soul of humanity. Each act of kindness, of love, of compassion, of letting go, forgiveness is not small. Every act is a cosmic, holy act in a conscious evolutionary commitment. So, let us not leave this as history or theory or philosophy, blah, 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 blah. Let us take it as a living call, a call to embody this ancient wisdom in a modern world, a call to live it as if it is actually true, because it is true, that the divine is within us, and it's ours to live in accordance to that, to apply this, and to be and to become this ever more fully than we already are. So may we be bold enough, friends. May we be daring enough, bold enough, faithful enough, willful enough, imaginative enough, resourceful enough, powerful enough, and loving enough to do just that. God bless you in all of your ways and means, your inquiry. And I uplift you every single way possible. Get in touch with me. Is there something I can do specifically to uplift you? marthacreek.com. marthacreek.com if I can support you. Blessings.